Hello, and welcome to East of Ethnia again. This week, I want to talk about things that we don't really talk about very often here. I'm going to talk about architecture, and I'm going to talk about business. um, because the Balkans came into the news in a pretty unexpected way during the last week, with news breaking that there were a couple of real estate deals being brokered in the region. And these are real estate deals in which the main corporate actors are a real estate investment company based in Saudi Arabia and Jared Kushner, who will be known to most of you as the American slumlord, who is the son-in-law of the former President Donald Trump. Uh, the deal was apparently brokered by a former envoy of the Trump administration to the Balkans, fellow by the name of Richard Grenell. Now, Richard Grenell was the envoy for negotiations between Serbia and Kosovo for a while after he was thankfully put out of office. He stuck around in the region probably because it's the only part of the world during his short and eventful diplomatic career where the governments that were hosting him did not ask him to leave, probably because the states were not powerful enough. And the real estate investment that apparently he brokered between these investors and the governments of the region involved two sites. One of them is Sazan, an island off the coast of Albania, former military base that he wants to convert into a luxurious resort for tourists. And the other is the former headquarters of the Ministry of Defense and General Staff of the military of Yugoslavia when there was a Yugoslavia, the so-called Generalstab in Serbia. And I want to concentrate on that building and tell you a little bit about it, okay? Because this is a building for those of you who have seen it. It's right in the hill going down from the center of town down toward what used to be the train station in Belgrade. So very prominent location on Kneza Miloša, or if you prefer Miloša Velikog, the street which is has the main offices of the government and most government ministries. And it is a dramatic, imposing building. Let me show you a picture of it to give you an idea here. We're going to go to share screen, and here is a picture of the building going up over both sides of the street. And I mean, one of the reasons why it's important, or sort of important, to show you the picture of the building is to also give you an idea of some of the symbolism. There's been a movement among people to declare the remains of the building. You can see that it's heavily damaged. It was made unusable by the bombing campaign of NATO on the part of NATO in 1999. It is, in fact, an architecturally meaningful building. I mean, the people who are campaigning to turn it into an architectural monument, give it an official designation, are doing it mostly for political reasons. They want a visual reminder of the bombing to be visible in a prominent place in the city as a kind of message to people regarding what they think the foreign policy orientation of Serbia ought to be. But it's a building, it was completed, I believe, in 1963. So in the modernist style of the time, monumental and very solid. The sloping sides of it going toward the street on either side are meant to be a representation of the Sutjeska River Valley. That is the site of one of the most important battles of the Second World War, where the partisans defeated the occupying forces of Nazi Germany. So kind of a testament to liberation. And the building is solidly built. Let me show you another picture. And this is a picture showing the damage to the building done by the bombing more clearly. I mean, it has been rendered unusable. If you go by it, it is a shell of a building, but it really took um, a lot of bombing to bring the building to that state. That thing was solidly built. And what this means is that the building has been a problem for the city of Belgrade since the time when it was bombed, because it is so enormous. It's too big a project for to be renovated and put back into use. It's too important to be to be demolished, and there's a group of people that wants it to stay there because they're interested in the symbolism. So let's take a look at what's been proposed for what to do with it by this group of investors that's coming in. So we're going to share the screen once again, and I'll show you the plan. And I think the idea is that this should be a hotel with offices. So once again, something really, really huge. And in that kind of fake neoclassical style that is beloved of criminals and the nouveau riche and people who like to put a lot of imitation classical and Renaissance sculptures in their concrete gardens. So just the sort of thing that is up the alley of the people who want to build this project. Um, Now, there's something kind of interesting here, because what this means is that at all times during the building's history, it's been somewhere at the juncture of design and war, somewhere at the juncture of art and violence. When it was originally designed as a kind of monument to one of the memorable battles of the Second World War, when it was left standing as a bombed shell, as a kind of memorial, a testament to the feelings of victimhood that many people in the country feel, and then in the current plan as a kind of monument to the war of the Trump empire against against good taste and judgment and democracy, a war which leaders in the region, people like Alexander Vucic, were very happy to join the time when they thought that it would benefit them. So the artistic side of the equation is very interesting in itself, and it becomes even more interesting when we start looking at the business side, because this project is going to be promoted as a major investment in making available both office space and promoting tourism in the city of Belgrade. Let me tell you something about this type of foreign investment in states in the region, because there are a lot of other instances of it. First of all, these are projects that are promoted as international investment, but the international investors put forward no capital and take no risk. They are funded mostly by subsidies, and the property is made available because it is made available to the investors by the government as a gift. This has been the case with other projects in Belgrade, including projects like the Belgrade Airport and the Belgrade waterfront housing, and God knows what else project. So these are projects that live by gifts and subsidy. They are financed not by the investors, but by the publics of the states that play host to them. Second, they're used to disguise a number of other activities. What appears on the surface is that they're building offices or hotels or residences or whatever. But these are projects that are often used by international actors for the purpose of money laundering. In the case where we're talking about investors from especially the Arabian Peninsula, what's happening is they have a very prominent project that is displayed to the public, like a hotel, like a housing project. And then behind the scenes, very quietly, what they're doing in the states where the project is happening is buying up agricultural land, because these states are thinking about their long-term food security, which they have a difficult time meeting by themselves, because the states are found in a part of the world that is not very receptive to agriculture. So this is the kind of project that you got. It's one that is going to make an enormous symbolic intervention, and an intervention that brings to light the relationships between political power, military power, financial power, and the position of art in one way. And in another way, we can talk about this in terms of business, because as a business project, as a real estate investment, this project, the ones like it, they can succeed and they can fail. And if they fail, then there is no risk to the investors, because they have not put anything forward into it. The project is being financed by the citizens of a relatively poor state. And if it succeeds, then there's no benefit to the public. So good luck with the project. Thank you for your time and attention. We'll talk to you again soon.